What's going on today, guys? This is the Benny from Jack Wolf Knives. Super excited to show this one off. I've been carrying it all week and just been absolutely loving it. It is a updated version of their original Benny's clip, which is styled after the Lanny's clip pattern. So you can see a little bit of a size difference here. I think it's a really nice direction that they went with the Benny here. They made it a little bit larger. I think it's actually their largest knife that they have made to date, but it's not like it's huge or anything. Let's put it up against this. I think we just seen it. And then we will put it up against the gun stock, the gunslinger. And you can see it's a little bit longer than that as well. If you line up the rear here, a little longer. But I really feel like the Benny's clip is like the most mass appealing knife that they've done yet. And I just think they nailed it out of the park. They're bringing the absolute heat, this thing. And then all the configurations. So this is the Mars Valley fat carbon. They also have it available in an all titanium version with milling. It's got like checkered milling on it. And they have a White Storm fat carbon with an all stone-washed titanium, stone-washed like blasted blade. So it looks like that nuked out look that I love. And then they also have an Arctic Storm, which is like that really beautiful blue fat carbon. And then, of course, you got your Jack Wolf signature styling here. You've got your triple fluting on their one-handed folders. They bring the back spacer all the way up to mimic a back spring. So it still has a lot of traditional styling in it. And then, of course, you get your Jack Wolf knives fit and finish. Beautiful. And fat carbon just does such a great job with their carbon fiber. There's no voids in this. They're able to mill it really precisely without having any chips or cracking or anything like that. So we're going to take a tour around this knife. I want to show you a really well done detail that I don't know if I didn't point it out if you'd catch. So with some of the bolster locks on the market, you can get a little pinch right here. If your thumb pad kind of falls in here when you're unlocking, you can get a little bit of a pinch. Well, they have left enough space here to not have that pinch happen. I haven't had it happen. I can't guarantee that you won't, but they have thought about that. I don't know if they could mill that away even thinner or if you would even want a larger gap in there, but really well thought out. And then they also carried that gap to the front. That has been purposefully done so you don't get that little pinch that could possibly happen. So well done. I love how they're keeping the styling really looking like a traditional knife. I mean, if you didn't know any better and I just showed you like this could be a traditional pattern. And if you rotate it up like that, you still might think, well, that's just a traditional slip joint. Nope. I think the jimping gives it away the most, but you got this back spacer, again, mimicking the spring, which is why we're even on this topic. Just gives it that full traditional look. And then you have a really tastefully done pocket clip. And I cannot stress how well that Jack Wolf Knives is doing these pocket clips. This is a one-piece milled pocket clip that is blind screwed into and set in to the handle with a nice ramp on it and a nice ramp to get out of your pocket. They're not too tight. This still has flex to it, so going in and out of your pocket does not tear your pocket up. And inside the pocket, they sit really nice. They sit about that much out of your pocket. And it's just a really well done clip. Nice and understated. It's there, but it's not like the main focus on the knife. And I just have thought that they have done it so well. And then if you didn't want a pocket clip on it, they include this plug that also is blind screwed on this tiny little part right here. to blind screw that is a lot more work than you would think, and most people will never put this on their knife, but they thought to include it and put it in there. So that's what I say. When Jack Wolf Knife thinks about the details, they're thinking about the people who, oh, we've got a big base. Our fan base loves traditional knives. Well, there's going to be some people who don't want a pocket clip on this locking knife. They have you covered, you know, and I think that's what really sets them above and beyond, let alone the packaging here. Your consistent fit and finish, your ability to get in touch with the owner and have him help you with what you need. Not that he's not overwhelmed. I mean, that wouldn't be my first place to start, you know, but I'm just saying, it's like, I've seen him post his phone number online. He stands behind his products, and I think it's part of the brand that absolutely should get spoken about on top of the actual physical product that you get in your hand, which is just absolute mint. They are premium. Look at this blade center in here. And somehow the action keeps getting better and better on these one-handed openers. My after hours is on loan to a friend right now. That is the Coffin Jack one-handed opener. But we have a gunslinger here to kind of compare it against. If you're following along and you're only buying up their one-handed releases, you can see a little bit larger than that. About the same cutting edge. Obviously the Benny's just a little bit more cutting edge, a little larger knife, but not by much. And again, just beautifully done. Love this Mars Valley carbon fiber on this thing. Also, we're talking about sizes. Let's go ahead and get a look at a pair two, because I feel that is pretty much the benchmark of any modern knife collector. You probably have a pair two around. You can see a little shorter than a pair two. About the same cutting edge. It's not short by much. Obviously the blade shape's a little bit different there. A lot more belly on this Lanny's clip style pattern, but just really well done. Look how classic and sleek this whole pattern is. The Lanny's clip, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful traditional blade patterns. Well, blade shape, yes, but overall profile patterns that exist. And to have it in a one-handed version of this knife with the frame lock, with the lock bar insert, and then all of the options that are available, just a stunner. And then a very subtly but well done front flipper. I have found that if I put the pressure right here and I'm holding the knife kind of high, my thumb kind of just follows along this bolster and the knife kind of pops open without even really thinking about it. But if I'm gripped like way back here and trying to flip it, it can be a little bit, just feels a little awkward. But when you get the little bit of the knack to it, I know front flippers are not everybody's cup of tea, but this thing is really well done. I actually open it with the front flipper probably 90% of the time. Look at this action. Sitting on ceramic bearings. Man, really thin hollow ground blade. S90V has the fuller on the top and the bottom to mimic a long pull on a traditional knife, and it's just really accessible any way you want to open this thing. Very intuitive, without like a thumb stud or a big hole on it or something like that. That just screams that I'm a one-handed modern knife, you know? Just really subtly done. Nice traditional design. I think it's so tasteful. Very thin in the pocket compared to something like a Spyderco, you know? I'm talking about the real estate it takes up, how wide it is here. I don't know. I really don't have any complaints at all. When I first seen this model, Michael Richter and I was kind of like, I wonder if there's enough room there to get your thumb on that fuller. just because the nature of the Lanny's clip, how it folds, doesn't have a whole lot sticking out. When you have something like this gunslinger, you've got this extra space here to really grab onto them and flick. But I'm in Ben Belkin we trust, I guess, because it's not a problem at all. There's definitely enough to grab that fuller, flick it out, and I don't know how everybody's gonna handle the knife, but I actually do use this front flipper most of the time. The detent is dialed. Not coming out, obviously. The blade don't really have enough weight because it's so thinly ground and hollow ground blade. This whole knife is only like a couple ounces. I think it's like, man, I don't want to guess. I'll put the specs in the thing below, but I think it's like 3.5 or something like that ounces in total. This version, of course, you know, the full titanium might be a little heavier, but that detent is dialed. Like as soon as you break it free, she flies open. Man. Jack Wolf knives in the Mars Valley. Fat carbon. Fit and finish, incredible. Look at the recess here for your thumb to get in there, unlock it. Again, and I say it in all the Jack Wolf knife one-handed openers, I like that they don't have a recessed up area for access to that lock bar. It gives it the traditional feel over, you know, like, well, I guess this is not really a good example, but if you were to cut this out, I just feel like it would bite into the styling of this knife too much. So it's a flat version here. I mean, there's other frame locks that do this. They keep it nice and flat. And speaking about this, look how nice you can choke all the way up on this. If you need to guide cardboard off the tip of your thumb onto the blade edge, or you're cutting tubing or something like that, I really like that design. It's one of the things that I love about traditional knives and traditional patterns is access all the way up and controlled cutting. And again, this is a, I don't know, I would say you could really get some work done with this, but I wouldn't go prying with it, you know. I wouldn't say this is something, you know, that you have to treat even like a fully flat ground paramilitary too. Look at the tip differences there. But I definitely wouldn't recommend that you buy this knife to pry with. But you don't have to be like super delicate with it either. I mean, this is a working knife. Really well done. Man. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you hanging out. They are available today. I'll have all the information below. And again, I just appreciate you guys watching. See ya.